How you doing, Kier?
Good. How are you?
Was that kind of a low energy start? That's kind of a how you doing, Kier?
Well, I
Just
mean, I'm sorry I don't have Muppets to introduce the show. Most
right.
sensational.
Yeah, I saw the trailer of the Jim Henson documentary is
Oh, did you
dropping.
see the
What is it?
trailer?
I
Oh,
saw
I'm
the
super
trailer.
excited. It's coming out June. I
June
saw,
something something. Yeah.
yeah, I saw a post about
Disney
it.
Plus, I think. Disney Plus.
Yes, it's
Um,
Disney. Well, obviously it's Disney because Disney owns his
obviously,
entire legacy. So
obviously. But is that what we're gonna? No, we're gonna talk about. We were. Oh, I'm
everything
sorry.
comes back to Jim Henson, just to be clear.
Well, we
That's the
did
way
talk about him
that's the
previously.
way
Yeah,
life
you're right.
is.
You're right. It's the Muppets. No, so I'm going through the Book of Face today, and apparently
Right next to the Book of Mormon.
Adamant, not the Book of Mormon, no, the Book of Face. Um, apparently Adamant was playing Las Vegas, I think, outdoors on the 26th. That been a couple days ago, and there was some weather thing happen. Some weather thing happened. Weather happens, right? I mean, hell, we've had tornado
Weather does
warnings.
happen without any of our input.
Your sister got upset. She thought maybe something happened to me in a tornado that didn't hit my local area, but yeah, weather happens.
She
So
asked exactly where you lived in Texas because she was concerned that tornadoes were affecting you physically at that moment.
look, and anytime I see raccoon stories, I immediately
I
want to know what's going on at her house. Um, so, so, so people lost their ever loving shit because they canceled the show, and I'm just sitting there going, and of course, yes, I added to the commentary because there were like 48 people who were
obviously.
like, well, obviously, there were 48 people who were like, how dare he? And this is on him. And he just doesn't want to perform and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there going, you people are out of your damn mind. Like,
Well, to be clear, if this is a weather situation
right.
on private property, I'm sure the call was made by the facility, not the artist.
You don't say, or maybe the promoter or the insurer, or, maybe someone who has authority above and beyond to say, we are going to put people's lives in danger.
Right, that's usually not the artist's call. They are not the meteorologist that's making the call on that.
Oh, you're not
So
saying that Adamant isn't backstage looking on his Weather Channel app, going, "Oh, just partially cloudy today, but I don't feel like getting on stage. I can't do the accent. I don't feel like getting on stage, so I'm just gonna cancel this so that people go ever loving crazy."
I mean, again, calling off a show, unless it is for an artist's health, all those other things are outside of the artist's purview. I mean, that they're not making that call. It's like you said, it's the promoter or the people who own the actual um
Venue.
venue or wherever it is. And if you're having an outdoor show, then weather is always a factor. I mean, we've definitely had shows here in Syracuse that have been canceled due to weather. Well, because we have that big outdoor, the Lakeview Amphitheater, that it now affects things. I mean, I've had shows cancel, saying the artist is ill. Um, Bruce Springsteen, for one, who canceled his show back last September and then made up the show this tour. So we got I mean, was it delayed? Absolutely, it was delayed. The man was not well. If we want him to continue singing at his age, we need to give him some time off when he's not feeling well. Um, when was it? 2022? No, 2020, August, the Duran Duran concert that we went to. Bastille was supposed to open. They were the opener, and they pulled out supposedly due to health concerns. There was some sort of someone was ill, something couldn't they didn't do it. So we got Nile Rodgers and Duran Duran. So was it disappointing? Yes. Was I there to see Bastille? No, I was there to see Duran Duran. So an opening act pulling out is not. Would I have liked to see them? Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I
Um,
can understand disappointment, but it's just going through this rant and vitriol that people were throwing his way, as though, they don't. I mean, it's like they don't understand that. I don't know. You don't perform, you don't get paid, right? Like, you don't show up to work, you don't get paid. You don't sell merch, you don't make paid. You don't do that. There are so many factors in putting on a production, but it was like the plane went down and everybody was in it, right? Like, these are the same people that, God forbid, they do a bad job canceling their travel, right? So they're like small, tiny window to arrive because they have to go to a wedding or something, and they're upset if the weather holds up the flight. It's just, I don't know. We've just become this like society of people who are what, all upset over things that are out of our control, instead of realizing
They're
that,
upset because it's all about them. I mean, I understand people who get very, very upset if they have made plans to travel to see something and it gets canceled. Absolutely. But that's part of, especially if you're going to an outside show. That's on no matter what. I mean, I can't imagine what got canceled this past weekend with 8 quadrillion tornadoes that were over 5 states. I'm sure something got canceled that was planned outdoors because there were, tornadoes.
Well,
I
and
mean,
I'm sure an artist wants to get on stage, but somebody with experience as a certified electrician, because I'm not one of them. I mean, I know that if you put your finger in a socket after licking your finger, it's not going to be a good experience. But you're running around on stage with a bunch of, I don't know, electric cables plugged into, electric generators, and things like moisture, rain, rain and moisture
and
is the same
just
thing,
rain is one thing. If there's threats of lightning, that's a kibosh. I mean, one of the best shows I have ever seen in my life, and I will date myself, it was a long damn time ago, at the New York State Fair grandstand. I went to a show. I was on the track, which means you have no roof over you, and it poured. Cats and dogs poured. There was no delay. They didn't cancel the show. I was there to see Bob Dylan and Santana. Okay. I thought I had to see Bob Dylan, like, as however old I was, my late 20s, early 30s. And I was like, I got to see Dylan. This is going to be amazing. Didn't even like register to me like who Santana even was at said time. So I go to the show. It's pouring. No lightning. All right, we're going to have this show. Great. On the old days, the track, you had folding chairs and
made of aluminum,
made into rows on the ground. It turned into a wild dance party. All the chairs got folded and thrown into a pile, and it was amazing. And then the rain kind of, and we were just sopped to the skin. And then Dylan came out and unintelligibly sang for, I don't even know how long. All I remember is Santana, and I remember I couldn't understand a word that Bob Dylan said. But still a fantastic show in the rain. But if there had been lightning, the fair would have gone, and they did that. I mean, they did that multiple times, no matter who was set to go. You have people outside and performers on stage with, lightning rods called scaffolding. Right. You can't put them out there. You can't. I mean, what are you going to do? Just give them like shoes with really thick rubber soles and say, God bless? I mean...
Here, everybody stand on a tire and hope for the best.
Right. So we're going to ground you so it'll be safe. Don't hold the microphone too close to your face, because...
Don't move around. Yeah, I mean, you might as well be on a golf course with a 9-iron, I mean, there's a reason.
Well, I mean, there's people that probably...
These people who threw a fit, there were probably people there who golf, who would drop their golf clubs if they saw lightning, but they're going to lose their shit because Animant didn't come on stage. I mean, let's be honest. We've we've missed not one but two opportunities, and now this because I couldn't see Adamant a couple of weeks ago in Dallas, and you couldn't come here. That's like 3 times, and we're out. Like, but are we okay? Yes. Does life go on? Yes.
Well, I mean, and that was a combination of COVID delays, and then I think he had some health issues. I mean, there's a whole squad of performers right now who are, wait for it, senior citizens.
You don't
So, you know what? We need to be a little bit more forgiving and be pleased when they do show and when they do give a great, performance. And if they're overbooking, I mean, sure, is that the actual artist? Probably not. Probably their management. But I mean, it's all, what they work within. I mean, I go to a lot of shows, a lot. I mean, in the past 10 days, I've seen 3 different bands play at different levels of, the spectrum. All indoors, no weather issues here. I don't have any outdoor stuff until the end of May. So
first of all, as artists age up, we should respect the fact that they're still doing it. I mean, and if they have a problem or an issue, whether it's their own health or its safety, it should be respected
for the performer and for the crowd. If it's safety,
yeah. I mean, you see the.
What do I always say in the car? Safety first.
Safety first. Right? I mean, and people, I like, how did we get here, right? Like, how did we get to this point where it's all about the person? Oh, I bought a ticket. Well, okay, you bought a ticket, but something happened. You're going to get your money back. You may not get your parking back, but you probably could have left the venue, gone. If it was at the Virgin, you could have walked over to the Double Down, had some shots of ass juice, and never even knew the concert didn't happen.
Probably a different crowd.
No, I think an Adamant crowd. There are probably some Adamant fans who went to the Double Down.
Well, I think the artists may start questioning people who buy tickets and don't show up for the show because, what, you woke up and your back hurt? I mean, I go to shows that are sold out and see empty seats, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I couldn't get a better seat but I'm looking at a row of unfilled seats.
Right.
Especially like at casino type venues where you're like, okay, did they hold those seats for their high rollers, or was the person too busy winning money to come sit for someone that, is going to perform for an hour and a half, 2 hours for you? That stuff, listen, I went to see a certain concert. I will not disclose what concert that was, but I spent a lot of money on the ticket and I had bloody COVID. I wore a mask and someone else drove me there because I was not feeling that great. I still enjoyed the show, would have enjoyed it more if I was healthy. However, I bought that ticket and I held up my end of the contract and I showed up for that show.
You know what? I don't even recall, and I'm not sure I want to know which show that was. So,
it's an expensive ticket.
Well, look, I mean, we didn't, when we were there at Billy Idol's last show before lockdown.
Oh, he was sick.
He cut it, what, 5 songs short. I mean, it was a short show.
He did make a comment, God bless his little soul, that he wasn't going to do Moni Moni because he was afraid that he would poop himself if he tried to hit the notes in that song. He was like, I just can't. And he sounded decent for the show. And then at the end, when he started talking and trying to explain that he really wasn't feeling his best. And for all we know, the poor man had COVID. I mean, who knows?
It could
have just had a cold. I mean, but yeah, but he came out, he owned it and was like, listen, I came out here and I did the show and I feel like crap on a cracker and I wish I could do more. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
They have to preserve their own health as well. It's not all about you, the audience.
Yeah,
this conversation is all about you, our audience, though. However, I'm not dissing you in any way.
No, I mean, no disrespect, but be reasonable. I mean, things happen, and look, You have a ticket to a concert, the concert doesn't go off for safety or whatever reason. That's a heck of a lot better than having bought a ticket on an airplane and the plane goes down. So you're really better off than a lot of other people in this world who never get even an opportunity to have a ticket to a show. There are people who can't go to concerts, right? There are
Yeah.
people, stuff happens all the time. But the reality is enjoy it when you can. And if it doesn't happen, don't treat it as though the world has come down on you, you know, because it's not you. It really isn't you. And there'll be other shows. Um,
We
especially if
always hope
you're
there'll be other shows. I mean, there's been shows that they didn't know there was a problem, and then, I mean, look at the shooting in Las Vegas a couple years ago, that big show that was out in the streets, and now they
country,
have a
yeah,
whole different set of rules for shows like that. There was I don't remember where was it like a state fair in Indiana or something, where the stage fell, or scaffolding fell, and like
blown
seven
away,
people were in
killed,
killed.
yeah.
And it was bad weather also, as I recall.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to complain. You got to bring a plastic bag. You know what? Don't bring as much stuff. It's a concert. What do you need? Something to buy drinks and your keys, right? That's all you really need. Don't, I mean, look, and I'll be honest with you, the thing that's more than anything else drives me nuts at concerts is you spend good money on a ticket and the people around you now feel as though they own the place and they
Well, they're
forget
there to
singing
have a
along.
very loud conversation in your ear while someone is playing their hits.
Right. Because
That's
they came to talk. They came to
yes.
chat it up, not to see the show. Or, look, I mean, we I nearly got lung cancer in Germany from that guy. Remember the guy with his cigarette in my face the entire performance? Like and he
You
and
need to be
after
able
I
to you need to learn to let things go too.
and I asked him to stop and he didn't, but then again, maybe he didn't know
We
English.
were
I
in
don't
a
know.
different
But
country. We were guests.
we were guests. It could have been hostile territory, you never know. But you live and you move on. I mean, not everything's perfect, So it just kind of tweaked me today when I saw that. I'm like, the fact that Adamant can do this looks like it's over 30 dates from coast to coast. There are bands from the UK that can't do coast to coast tours. They can't get from one side to the other because there aren't enough fans alive anymore. There's not enough people to go to the shows. It's hard to tour these days, and they're not making a ton of money. Like for anyone who thinks that bands are making a ton of money, like an Adamant, go out and buy their merch, buy it off their website, buy their music for God's sake. Stop with the streaming. Like actually support them financially.
See,
Um,
and you pick on me for buying CDs. I'm
well,
supporting everybody here. Last
I
night I went
I
to
buy
see
I
you.
buy I don't
Yes.
stream. I buy. I may buy
Well,
it digitally. I
you
don't buy
buy
a
on your
I
Apple
don't buy.
Music things.
Yeah, I don't buy a physical copy. I mean, because I'm not waiting for the apocalypse and the God forbid we don't have digital devices anymore. But I am supporting
Someday you'll
by
thank me.
actually purchasing.
Someday you'll thank me. Last night I saw the band. I went from Syracuse to Rochester to this fabulous little venue, which I have now been to twice, and I wish I lived locally because I would go there literally every weekend because
Wait.
so good.
Live locally? You live an hour. Like you live like
I mean,
the
if I
east
lived
side of Dallas to Fort Worth. I mean,
okay, but to be clear, I'm not going to go to Rochester every weekend to see a band. If I lived in Rochester and it was like a 20-minute drive, that would be awesome. I would literally be fighting the door lady, who is great. She's the same lady. I don't know whose mom she is, but she's fantastic. And because you go in with like your receipt from the web, whatever ticketing they use, they don't scan the barcode. She has a clipboard with your name, and you give her your name, and that's how. And she knew the people in front of me. She's like, "Hey, up here, you guys are on the list," because it's this cute little community. It's the Abilene Bar and Lounge. Highly recommend if you're in Rochester. They have a very eclectic thing. But the band I saw last night was from Nashville. They have a running thing at like a honky tonk in Nashville. And so they played last night for us, and they probably drove through the night, because I remember that's what happened the last time I saw them, because they play Sunday nights in Nashville. So they played until 10:15 last night. I bought 3 CDs from them. Also, fun fact that their road manager, tour manager slash merch guy got on stage and sang a song, which was awesome.
Nice.
But that's what I've been doing a lot the last 2 years, is I'm supporting a lot of smaller bands. I'm not going to big headliner, shows of people that I've seen 1,000 times, big arena shows, the big amphitheater shows, because they have plenty of money. Those are the kind of people who own bars. Blake Shelton owns a bar. Toby Keith owned a bar. These people, which I don't fault them for,
Taylor Swift owns Travis Kelce. I mean, it's.
I don't fault them for, putting their brand out there and making money, but I think a lot of these smaller bands deserve a bit more. And those are the people who don't cancel a show for their health. Like, they're just killing themselves to get there.
Yeah.
They're playing for, they're playing for gas money. I mean, figure these folks drove from Nashville. I think they played Friday night in Ohio. Then they played Rochester Saturday night, and are going back to Nashville to play Sunday night at the Honky Tonk. They love to play. There's a fabulous quote that I heard on my radio station, the Dwight Yoakam station on Sirius XM. And Dwight interviews a lot of people, and it's a lot of fun. And I learn all this bizarre music history that I believe it was David Crosby said once, a very long, very, very, very long time ago, that you don't pay me to sing, you pay me to travel. And that's because they're dedicated. They want to sing, they want to perform, they want an audience, they want you to sing along with their songs, they want you to clap, and they're there because that's what they enjoy doing. Not necessarily, especially little bands, not because they're there to make a profit. They're hopefully going to break even and be able to pay their electric bill.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on for an hour about that. I mean, I've been interviewing artists lately, and some of them are they do it because they love it. It's it's in their fiber of their life, and they choose not to do anything else, and they want to do it. People are playing in under bridges out in California. They're playing in parks. I was talking to someone who they used to play in the middle of the desert out in Las Vegas. Wherever they could find an audience, they'd go do it. It had nothing to do with the money. So I think at the end of the day, with the state of the music business, we have to find, if you're going to be a fan of an act, find a way to support them, because those dollars, whether it's a few dollars because you buy a CD or you buy a shirt, which have one hell of a margin, you're covering their expense. They can come entertain you. So without that, they're not going to come entertain you. And then what are you going to do? Complain that they don't come to your town to entertain you. There's a reason people maybe show up once to a city on a tour and they never show up again, because they only sell half a house, and they have to make financial decisions, because believe it or not, it is a financial business. So I think it's none of it's life and death. None of it's worth, getting that upset over at the end of the day. So I was just kind of a little tweaked by that, but this has been a good talk. I mean, we all have our experience with it. I'm sure people watching this, you may think differently. You are free to throw some comments. You should subscribe for sure, because we've got more conversations coming up, and a bunch of different topics. And we would love to hear some topics that people would like us to talk about, because I'm sure with Kier and her friend Google, we can find all kinds of information to just espouse in these little discussions.
If there's a documentary on it, I'll find it.
I have no doubt. One day we'll talk about why you don't take hoarders to beaches and all the documentaries about that.
Picky.
I know. All right. Bye for now.